Welcome family, this is the Velvet Locks with another video for you today. Now today I'm out here at my favorite place, and that's by the water. I like to come out here in the morning times for meditation, to spend time in the Word of God, just to meditate and think, to pray. And a lot of times this is where I get led. This is where I get my motivation from. I've been here praying for you guys and just thinking about your hurt, thinking about the things that you've been through, and hearing all of the sorrow and anguish in your letters. I got a letter the other day from a subscriber who's been through a narcissistic attack, and it got to the point where she felt the need to sleep with a rifle for 2 years after that. You know, I tell you guys, the brokenness that is left in you can also create you to become toxic as well, without you even knowing it. The reason for that is because now you become fearful to live again, fearful to be you again. You've been broken and put down for so long. The longer you're in that type of relationship, the more damaging you can become to your own self. You lack self-esteem, some of you. You may not be able to trust getting involved in another relationship because you don't know how to. You're so damaged inside, you've never gotten healing from that. Some of you are sheltered to the point of you're sheltering yourself from society. You're becoming a hermit, a social hermit. A hermit even to your friends and family, because you don't have the motivation or drive, the determination to really live life and be full and whole again. Now, it takes time. It takes time to get healing after something like that. Because like I told you in the last video, a narcissistic relationship is not the same as a regular relationship. You suffer a lot deeper brokenness than a regular failed relationship. You know, sometimes you don't want to be around anybody. You don't want to be around people. You just want to stay inside. You feel more comfortable. You feel safer indoors. Me, myself, I'm a hermit anyways. I like being home. I'm a homebody. I like being out and about too in the nice, weather that we're getting ready to have, but I like being indoors. I like being home. I like to enjoy my home and my family. But when it gets to the point where you don't want to do anything, you don't even want to get up, you don't want to eat, you don't want to shower, you don't want to do anything, you just feel safe in your home because of the hurt, because of the brokenness, that you don't even know how to be you again. You forgot who you were. That's when you're becoming toxic. You've been infected by that poison of the narcissist. Another one of you ladies mentioned that you've been through it. You know, you can relate to everything that I've mentioned, but you're so guarded. Okay? This one thing to guard your heart, because even the Bible speaks about guarding your heart. But there's a way of guarding your heart, and then there's a way of guarding it to the point where you self-sabotage everything. You sabotage the possibilities of finding that true love. Being involved in social events. Some of you are full of anxiety because of the craziness you've been into, so now you don't even know how to be around other people without looking at them suspicious. Someone could be legitimately interested in you, and based on where you are in your healing, or years after your situation, that you look at everybody the same way. You're judging everyone the same way. You're looking at them with the side eye, waiting. And that's not living, you guys. You can't judge everybody. You can't judge. Now, it's good to be aware. It's good to look out for the signs. It's good to be on your alert. But not everyone have those traits. You may have people that, you've heard the videos, you've heard other people's videos, and you're thinking, wow, I wonder if my spouse is a narcissist. They could be very aggressive, very protective. very controlling, but that doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. A narcissist is completely different, although they do have those traits as well. Not everyone is a narcissist. Some people just have bad ways. Some people are players, you know. Some people just have bad morals. But narcissistic hurt, narcissistic abuse, and brokenness runs far deeper. It's to the core. It's to your soul. It can get you to the point of not trusting people. When you've been so damaged in your spirit from a narcissist, you will at first maybe even isolate yourself from society, you know. And it's okay to regroup. It's okay to mourn. It's okay to feel that hurt and that pain. But don't run from living. Don't run from being who you were before you met that person. Don't allow them to get that, to have that power to drain you to the point where you lose all consciousness of who you were before you met them. When I was at the point of ending my relationship with my ex-narcissist, I made a conscious decision. Although I was in pain and confusion, because remember, I left him, but still, the pain and the confusion and all of that still happens. Whether they leave you or you leave them. The mental abuse and the emotional abuse that you get from these people can be poisonous, and it can cause you PTSD as well. It's a spiritual transfer. They want to transfer their nasty ways onto you, and you have to be guarded from that. That I can say, be guarded from. Because even though you're going through it or you went through it, you have to guard your mental understanding of who you are, your truth, your well-being. You can't allow them to get the power to steal your joy. Even though they do that, you have to make a conscious decision not to allow this to take away you from living again. You can't allow it to get you to the point where life is a dud after a narcissist. Life is beginning again, a new beginning. You have to make conscious decisions to not allow this poison, this toxin, to infect you and kill you. And when I say kill you, I mean kill your spirit, kill your drive, kill your determination to live and be in a loving relationship, to meet good people. You can't allow the pain from these people to erase your future. The possibilities of finding that true love, of being in a real relationship with real issues, but not like that. You understand? You will have relationship issues in any relationship. There will be those good days and those bad days. But you will know the difference now if you do not allow this poison to poison you and kill your future. Some of you may have even tried to medicate yourself through alcohol, through drugs, because of the traumatic brokenness that you're left with. Because the feeling of emptiness, because now that void is there. Or the feeling of hopelessness, because you just feel like, wow, what am I going to do now? How am I going to live now? What do I do? Because you're used to that person in that space, whether it was negative or positive. But you can't stop living, you guys. You can't be so guarded to the point where no one can approach you because you're full of anxiety or hostility, or just plain guarded that you don't have patience anymore. You have a low tolerance for anything. Your way of processing things might be so on edge and to the point where you don't have patience for anybody. You can't allow them to kill you, to kill your purpose in life, because now you've become toxic. Some of you are so full of pain Now, I don't know how you're coping with it, but with me, prayer helped. Being around friends and family helped. Going to speak to a therapist, your pastor, that helps. Meditation helps. Like I said, I come out to my special happy place near the water because this is how I connect with my Father God. This is where I can release and I can feel free because I'm in the comfort of my own space in His world. And I'm able to have my quiet moment with Him. You have to have some sort of placement in your life where you can have meditation, have a prayer life. I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are. This is not a religious video. I don't want you guys to feel uncomfortable. But the reality is you have to be able to connect with your Lord, with your God, and unleash those burdens and those feelings over to Him and ask for healing. It's scary sometimes in the beginning. It's scary to be you around people because now you're overly sensitive. You're overly sensitive to criticism. You're overly sensitive to compliments because you've been love bombed so much that even if you get a compliment from somebody, you're looking at them with the side eye like, what do you want? You can't become broken. You can't become toxic yourself. You have to make a determination that you will live past this. You will be whole. You understand? You have to make that declaration to yourself and walk it like you talk it. You're gonna have to walk it and make those steps into living again, being free, being whole, being happy. You cannot shelter yourself to the point where you just lay down and now you're defeated because you don't know where to go, how to live, what to do. Sheltering yourself is not being made whole. You may need some time for yourself to gather, to regroup, to strengthen, to encourage yourself, to regroup and get your mindset back. Because honestly, after a narcissistic abusive relationship, your reality has been distorted. It's been jacked up. It's been scrambled. And what you believe to be true, you kind of second guess it now. So you really have to make that determination to get back to you. Now, not saying that you're just gonna, just allow anybody back into your life where you're not watching, you're not assessing and being aware of those signals and red flags. But you have to make that determination to live and be free and be whole again. You have to fight past those feelings of weakness. It's really hard when somebody betrays your heart, your trust, everything. When they're finally out of your life and you're on that road of recovery, how you then relate to society, how you then begin to go back and live your life again, determines if you're really healed or if you're still suffering from that abuse, where you're weak. Weak meaning you're sensitive to things that you wouldn't have normally been sensitive to. You can't trust somebody's word because now you're overthinking and overanalyzing everyone you meet. You're not able to enjoy life with your friends and family because you just want to be a hermit and stay sheltered inside. You don't want to be around people. You may be even depressed to the point where you're drinking alcohol and taking medication or drugs to keep you from thinking and dealing with that pain that you've been left with. Life is worth living. And I know it's hard to even think that way when you're confused and you're mixed up and you don't know how. You understand? You don't even know how. And that's where your fight really begins, you guys. After the no contact and after the narcissist is actually out of your place, out of your life, stopped hovering you and have moved on. Time for you to heal. You have to heal. You have to heal to the point where you're not broken, where you are not toxic. A lot of times we're left with the same PTSD that they have. It's a post-traumatic stress disorder. They've gotten it one way, but you've got it through them. So you can't allow that disease, illness, disorder, whatever it is, to be a part of who you are. Because if that's not who you were before, now is the fighting time. This is the time that you're going to have to really fight for your life. Fight for your sanity. Fight for who you were before. Not to allow the toxin, the poison, to be inside of you now and kill your destiny, to kill your future. You cannot allow it to become so fearful that your confidence is stripped, that your confidence in life is just stripped away from you. When you're feeling like this, you have become toxic yourself. You became weak in your spirit. And when you're weak, you cannot be who you are meant to be, who you were before you met them. So, you guys, be very guarded in that aspect of not allowing their poison to become your poison. You don't want to become like them. Judging people, overanalyzing people, being very impatient, irritable, hostile, fearful, scared. Although these are all valid emotions that it's valid for you to feel. But don't allow it to control your life. Don't allow it to become you, who you are. Because then you're going to be walking around like these narcissists. This is why I say it's like an epidemic. It's an epidemic. Because even though you were whole before you met them, if you don't fight for who you were and make that determination to not become like them, you can subconsciously become a narcissist yourself. Toxic. Because of the post-traumatic stress that you was involved in that relationship. This is how narcissists became narcissists by narcissistic parents. Their ways were put on so heavy to the point where it caused a traumatic, stressful situation that now that person don't know how to be themselves. They're just full of all this anxiety, stress, and just lashing out just the same as the narcissist did with us. Healing, motivation, meditation, prayer, being around your friends and family, making a conscious decision to laugh, to be free, to be whole, to live. But also when you're getting involved in other relationships, just to be mindful, but not to overanalyze, not to judge, not to critique and look at these, similarities that may not be a narcissist, but judging them according to that and making it seem as though, yeah, you're a narcissist, everybody's a narcissist now. And you became polluted in your way of thinking. You became polluted in the way you react to other people. You became mean-spirited. Or you're just walking in fear, not knowing how to open up again. Not knowing how to show love and trust people again when you are in that beginning state. But just know that every day gets better. Every day gets better. There's hope. There's life. This is why my faith has a lot to do with my strength. Okay? And I get my strength from my God. I may not always feel strong in things that I make myself do or that I'm determined to do. I may be a little nervous doing things. But through Him, He's the one that gives us the strength. So connecting with your faith, it's definitely something you're going to need to pull that strength from, to get that strength to live again and to not be toxic. Refuse to become like the narcissist. Refuse to walk around being poisoned and infecting other people with poison because they're poisonous people. All right? So I pray and hope that this video can open your eyes and maybe make you look at yourself and to really analyze yourself. And if you do feel these feelings, and if you are doing these things as far as becoming a social hermit, you know, just staying inside, becoming depressed, you may need to have therapy. Speaking to somebody doesn't mean you're crazy. You just need extra help in getting over these hurdles in your emotions, in your mind. Get some clear understanding. If you're a faith believer, read your word. The Bible is a very strong, powerful tool. It's life to the Christians. So this is where I go and I draw my strength from. And you get stronger and you get stronger and you get stronger. And you're walking now by faith and not by the way you feel and not by the things you see. Not by sight. All right? So remember, you guys, analyze yourself. Really think about how you've become afterwards. Make that determination to live. Be free. Be happy. You understand? Treat yourself. Spend time blessing yourself. Spend time praising the Lord for taking you out of that situation. There's so many things that are positive to look at, to be grateful for, because you have the victory. You won because you're not in that situation anymore. Okay? But now that you're out of that situation, live life to the fullest. Be happy. Make a conscious decision to be happy. Even though you may feel weak at times, deal with that weakness. Don't run from it. Pray about it. Give it over to the Lord. But don't wallow in your sadness. Don't wallow in the distresses, the trauma that you may be feeling inside. Don't wallow in that. Move. Move forward. Make a conscious decision to live again. And also not to become toxic. So don't let their poison you. Because the worst thing that you can do is become a narcissist yourself. Thank you again, you guys. Don't forget to share these videos. Every day should be Narcissist Awareness Day. We want to make sure these messages get out. Because so many are hurting, so many are broken, so many have been defeated from this demonic spirit. And that's exactly what it is. So walk in your strength, you guys, and in your purpose. And until the next video, I will see you then.